Hi, everybody. Welcome to an episode of Change Starts With Us, Ohio. It's Sunday morning. As I'm sitting here reflecting on the past week and so on, I wanted to share a little bit with our good folks around the country and even in other countries. Um, Sometimes when we come out of prisons, we fall into this stigma area where people assume this and that on you, and sometimes they're wrong, sometimes they're right. But I want to make one thing clear, and this is to all my legislative friends. I do believe some of them do care, but I don't believe they're doing what they're supposed to. They're owed to people that they'll represent all people because they don't. Um, they've rejected me. They've rejected other people. I can't even meet with my own state senator, um, which is really wrong. You know, we have a we have rights. We can register to vote the day we get out of prison. Um, Hi, Bill. We're talking a little bit today how our legislators will refuse to meet with people that were in prison for certain crimes, guilty or not. We had a governor that told people they should not meet with me, and once you think like a prosecutor, you're never going to be open-minded and look from both sides. We have a system that is out for personal gain. I remember talking to my senator one day because he's a minister, and we were talking about how he doesn't judge people. How he believes God forgives all people, but he's judged me pretty hard, nor will he meet with me. So everything he told me that I learned to have respect for him was just the opposite. And it's not just him. I met Mike DeWine back in the 80s on January 22nd at the Rally for Life down in Washington. And he invited me back to his to his office, for a reception. Yeah, so, we met there and we had, a good talk, and stuff, but everything he told me, I'm finding out really wasn't accurate, you know. Um, when you take an oath of office, you take it for all people, not just a certain few. If you're a Republican, you take it for all people. If you're a Democrat, you take it for all people. Even the Democrats are not really big on meeting with people with a record, and I'm finding that out today more so than ever. And I am a registered Republican, mind you, but I've never voted a straight ticket. I voted, whoever is the candidate that would be the best choice that would represent our people, and um, that will, just be open-minded and learn that people can be forgiven, people can change, and then I know how corrupt the pro board in Ohio is, so they always bring up nature of offense. That doesn't change. People do change. So they keep dragging it on. I know some people that had 10 to life that's down 40 years later. Um, and how is that justifiable? When the beginning sentence was 10. Um, so it's a lot of unfairness taking place in our country today. And we have to start electing people that really do care. And remember, right now we're getting close to the 50% mark on felons in the United States. So really, we can start voting people in if we chose to do so and work as a team. That doesn't mean I believe everybody would be a great um, candidate. I don't. But let's give these folks a chance and see what they can do. I think sometimes you can trust those people that was locked up a lot more because they're more loyal than ever. Um, so, it. I know three parties in the United States probably would not work, but we need a party that's for the people, not Republican, not Democrat, because we see what's happened with the Democratic Party since the election. Then the Republican Party is no better. Um, so it's a system of failure, and we're open to suggestions. We're open to comments and opinions. Um, and I'm definitely a listener. I will listen. That doesn't mean I'll always agree, but I will be willing to listen and see um, where things will stand. But our legislators need to realize they work for all people, not just the people that was not in prison. Those that was in prison that have changed, those who have registered to vote that have voted during the election, they represent them as well. But that's not how it is. I remember one a state rep that they came after me because we had a bill that was just about to get introduced and passed. So Black Parole came after me and um, contacted the media, and this state rep said, "Well, we're going to start screening to see if anybody was locked up or not before they meet with us." That's not the oath that they took. I was convicted of a crime I did not do. I'll say that, and it was attempted kidnapping. My case was of public indecency, which is just bad. I'm not gonna say it wasn't, but I would have only gotten 6 months sentence. But needless to say, Cuyahoga County is so corrupt that they will lie on people's cases. I've seen it with my friend John Peters Jr., myself. I've seen it on several other people that was convicted out of Cuyahoga County. Franklin County is not much better when it was under Ron O'Brien. So I don't know how this new prosecutor is going to work. Are they going to be open-minded? Are they going to be willing to um, listen to both sides and then make a judgment call that is fair for all, instead of just making a conviction and not caring if the person is guilty or innocent? We we are in a country that has fallen so far away from God, and the last year or so, even more so. When we start taking God, we trust off of everything. When we start kneeling to the flag, when we quit saying Pledge of Allegiance in the schools, we have fallen away from God. And our legislators support those ideals, some of them. I will never kneel to the flag. Look what happened just this last week with the servicemen and women that passed away in the Middle East. And we need to remember to pray for them and their families as well, and thank any servicemen we come in contact with for their service. But I know a lot of people that was locked up that served in Vietnam. I don't think anybody was left from World War II, but Vietnam, Desert Storm. And there's so much disrespect that people forget the good things they do, but they remember the bad things. 1 Samuel 9 says, "He is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and cleanse us from all unrighteousness." That doesn't mean for one sin, it says all. And if we're to be more like Christ, why are we sitting here and judging people and pushing them away? That is going totally against what I was taught, as a child. And people that have heard me speak in the past in churches or wherever knows my personal relationship with Christ is real. There's a one, I accepted Christ at 13, but I admit, when I got out of school, I just, thought I was tough. Now I'm out of school, so I go to midnight bowling, um, and just stay out till all hours. Then I was too tired to go to church on Sundays. Knowing my parents, who have been churchgoers, had adopted us when we were young, but we were raised in a Christian home, so church was part of our life. But when I got out of school, I kind of pushed my way, from it, and I started getting into trouble. I was a victim of sexual abuse as a child, and I started doing wrong stuff around, I think I was 13 the first time I got in trouble. And I can't blame other people for my actions. But when you hurt other people, it can be a lifetime of effect, on so many. But if we don't learn how to forgive, we can never start healing as a person. That doesn't mean you're going to forget, but you can heal as a person and say you're not going to dwell on that issue anymore. I am right now trying to find some people that was incarcerated to run for public office. I don't care what their conviction was. Um, I believe people can change, and I believe some of them can make great legislators, and some better than the ones we have today. You know, the mayor in Columbus won't even return a phone call to me. The council will not return a phone call to me. I've called his office over 30 times in the last years. Not once have I gotten a call back. You know, and one was because it's pretty heavy snow, and I have heart disease. I've had 4 heart attacks and open heart surgery, so I wanted to find out if they knew of any service that would be able to help me with shoveling snow. No return call. So what I did was I called the fire department to see if they knew. Needless to say, the fire department was here within 10 minutes. They showed my driveway out, and I tell you, I'm so thankful for the Columbus Fire Department, and also for the fire department on um, May 5th of 2020. For those of you who don't know, and this is from my um, faith really. I went into the hospital for stroke symptoms. They took me back for a contrast dye. I mean, a scan with a contrast dye. They took me back to my room. I coded twice and I had 2 strokes. And what happened was I was allergic to the contrast dye that they gave me. The doctors told me after they finally woke me up from my coma that he has never seen someone survive that much tragedy at one time. You know, I think it was about a week after they tried to get me to start walking that they told me I had a stroke as well. I couldn't walk, and I was so aggravated, and I thought it was just from laying in bed because the first thing I asked, they said, "What year is it?" I said, "Is it still 2021 or 2020?" Something like that, and he said, "Yes, you're right there." I wasn't sure, you know, but you know, God has a purpose for everything in life. And one of my dreams that I want to see is that our people behind bars will come home someday. And I don't think everyone should, but those that should be home will come home. It's costing you, the taxpayers, money to keep people 20, 30 years past the minimums. Could you imagine what the taxes can be if they start releasing the right people? Your taxes would be a lot lower than what they are today. You know, so folks, I'd like to know your opinion. Do you believe felons should be treated as people when they get out? If they register to vote, should they be treated as a regular voter? Should they be allowed to meet with the legislators, or should they be pushed away and say they're not worthy? Um, so, you know, you can't force people to meet with you. You definitely can't. But you can strive to improve yourself, that you can make a difference. Some of the smartest people I have met have been people that was incarcerated. I was locked up with Dr. Boyle. He was the one that, I'm not going to get into his case, but he killed his wife, you know. He got charged in Ohio and Indiana. Oh no, Ohio and Pennsylvania. He was with a new lady and so forth. Johnny Paycheck was another one at Chillicothe, the country singer. Benny Bonanno, who was a Cleveland clerk of courts. He was in Grafton. And of course, Benny Bonanno was targeted because he was a politician. He was well known in Cleveland as an auditor. And I don't remember anything about his case. And if I did, I still wouldn't even bring the case up. But what I'm trying to say is there was good people locked up. You know, when I say good people, you know, that doesn't mean good people don't do bad things. They do. But remember this, good things happen to good people. So when you change, you know, good things will start happening. You know, so I try to tell these people when they get out, you know, keep your eyes focused. Walk with someone else when you go to the store. Be accountable. Have someone else be accountable for you. You know, one thing that does not help, and I know this from past experience, when a person gets out of prison and they come after you, the media and residents, that can cause you to reoffend because it'll push you into the corner that you snap and you can't reason things out. Our media is to blame for that. You know, because they will not put anything decent out there on what a person has done since he's been out, but they put down everything on their crime. Um, and it's sad. So we need to unite as people and let's give these folks a chance, including myself, because it bothers me to know that my own state senator does not want to meet with me because of my past. He has an obligation to his residents. I'm his resident. So he does have that obligation, and I'm not sure how to handle this. We've talked so many times. I've had so much respect for him. And it's kind of a letdown to know that this is happening. Everybody, I really appreciate you watching today. Remember to continue to pray for our incarcerated brothers and sisters, those in nursing homes, those in hospitals, and the homeless. And you're going to see changes all around through prayer. Thank you, everybody, and have a great day.